Meanwhile, President-elect Trump is hinting that some cabinet and staffing appointments could soon be announced. He took to Twitter this morning, writing, quote, "Busy day planned in New York. We'll soon be making some very important decisions on the people who will be running our government."
That comes after a day in which the president-elect met President Obama for the first time ever. The current president said he's rooting for Trump to succeed, while Trump said he's looking forward to his predecessor's counsel moving forward.
Most of all, I want to emphasize to you, Mr. President-elect, that we now are going to want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
We discussed a lot of different situations, some wonderful and some difficulties. I very much look forward to dealing with the president in the future, including counsel.
Jake Sherman is a senior writer for Politico and co-author of the Politico Playbook, and he joins us now to discuss all things politics. And Jake, our Major Garrett has been following Donald Trump since the very beginning of his campaign, and he told us earlier that he certainly sensed a different tone from the president-elect in the Oval Office yesterday. Was that your takeaway as well?
Yeah, I think Donald Trump is now coming to the realization that he's going to be president of the United States. And that's a far different position than campaigner. He's beginning to build out a government, which includes thousands and thousands of people. This can't be said enough. Donald Trump has never been in government, has never been elected to anything. So he's coming at this kind of with fresh eyes and with really no experience in building out this massive infrastructure. So I think he's almost taken aback a little bit, it seems, by what he has to do and by everything he has to accomplish in the next 70-something days.
Jake, I'm curious about your reaction and the reaction from other journalists, from other reporters to Donald Trump's decision to refuse a traveling press pool on his trip to Washington yesterday. He's been very antagonistic towards the press from almost the beginning, even though he also loves the press because he loves the attention. What are the possible implications here going forward?
So I think a few things. I think Donald Trump is going to have a press pool. That's what his people have said, and I'm going to take them at their word for now, that they are going to allow reporters to track his movements, as is traditional for every president. Listen, the public does not care about this. Actually, we've polled the public on this question a couple months ago, and really this is not an issue that anybody in real America cares about. It is important, though. We need to be able to know where the president is, who he's seeing, what he's doing, and make sure somebody is with him in case, God forbid, something bad happens to him. But again, Donald Trump says this is a guy who's not been in this position before, so we'll have to give him a little bit of a time to adapt. But I do take him at his word that he will institute a pool pretty soon.
You've also been following Speaker Paul Ryan closely on Capitol Hill, actually for years. So what can you tell us about the meeting that he had yesterday with Trump?
So I was in Wisconsin with Paul Ryan for the last couple days on Election Day and before, and I think that Donald Trump and Paul Ryan are going to kind of rise together. They were obviously rivals for many months. Trump and Ryan did not get along. Ryan did not like him. But now Trump needs somebody on Capitol Hill who knows how to get things done, and Ryan is that person. Ryan has been on Capitol Hill for 15 years, 16 years, and knows how the institution works. So that he could be a useful ally for Trump. I mean, they are really beginning to get together and put their minds together on what the first 100 days are going to look like. What are they going to do in January, February, March? I mean, these are things that Trump has never really thought about in a practical way, that now they need to be able to put a little bit, some meat on the bones. And I think that you're going to see that happening over the next couple weeks.
Jake, in terms of cabinet staffing, and we've read that tweet from Donald Trump earlier hinting that he is going to be making decisions very, very soon about the cabinet. What are you hearing about that timeline?
I think he's going to announce things in the next couple days, weeks, and obviously months. But if you look at the people who his transition effort now, not a campaign, are beginning to float, these are kind of standard fare Republicans. Jamie Dimon at J.P. Morgan, Jeb Hensarling, the congressman from Texas, to serve as Treasury Secretary, Mike McCall to serve as Homeland Security Secretary. These aren't out-of-the-box picks. These are actually pretty standard Republican picks for a Republican president-elect. So I think you're beginning to see Trump almost normalize, in a sense, toward the kind of standards and normal practices of Washington.
Do you think there'll be some challenges, though, that he faces moving forward? There were an awful lot of Republicans and other people in Washington who opposed him very strongly, wrote letters signing their names saying they were, he would not make a good president. Do you think after a while, there are a lot of positions to fill, it's going to be tough to find the right people?
I don't think so. I think winning begins to solve all of those problems and raw feelings. I think that's a reality that Trump is going to, and the Republican Party is going to face pretty shortly. I think that people feel a duty to their country, even if they don't like Trump and they don't love Trump. And I think you're going to see a lot of the people who are pretty critical of him find spots in the administration, either high or low. But I think I'm hearing that already in D.C. Republicans say, listen, this guy's our president. We're Republicans. We're Americans. We need to help him out.
Jake, on the other side of the aisle, Politico is reporting on some top senators endorsing Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison to be the next DNC chairman. Where would you put Ellison's chances of getting appointed to that post?
I think the DNC wants somebody who is going to devote their full time to the job. I think Keith Ellison, who's, as you mentioned, is a congressman from Minneapolis, is on Capitol Hill and has a full-time job as a congressman. That didn't go well when Debbie Wasserman Schultz was the DNC chairwoman and she was a congresswoman. So I think Chuck Schumer, as you alluded to, endorsed Keith Ellison for the slot. I think Keith Ellison might have a better chance if he's paired with somebody else atop the DNC. But I think some of these decisions are going to be made in the next couple weeks, and this is also a vote. So senators endorsing candidates for the slot is important, but the DNC, the executive committee, has to vote on an appointment like that.
All right, Politico's Jake Sherman. Always good talking to you, man. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.